Hey everyone. Yeah, this is a big video for me. In all my ceremonies, I think there were two. I've learned so much from every single one. Each one has changed me in a way that I'm so grateful for, and I've learned just things that I couldn't have imagined. But there have been two ceremonies that have literally redefined the way I live my life and have brought me the most incredible peace that I cherish every single day. They were the most life-changing lessons that I got, and this is one of them. It was my fourth ceremony, and my third ceremony had been really, really tough. My first two had given me more than I could possibly ever want in a million years, and going into the third one, I felt like, what else could there be, and I was kind of reluctant. I didn't want to rock the boat. I felt like I'd kind of gotten enough out of it, and I didn't know why I was doing it. And that whole ceremony was about showing me how arrogant I was to think that I suddenly knew everything and that I had learnt enough. And so, yeah, that was a humbling and very, very tough, very physical. I really got a hiding and realized just how many rungs there are on the ladder and how much there is to learn and to embrace that. So that was my third ceremony. It was really tough. And then going into the fourth one, this one, I was, after that third one, I was hoping it would be easier. I was looking forward to carrying on with the lessons and learning something new, And the medicine took hold very fast, and it was so uncomfortable, and it was uncomfortable in my body, it was uncomfortable in my mind. I was just really not feeling great, and I felt like I was in a roller coaster, but I wasn't strapped in properly. I was just getting bashed around, and it just horrible feeling. And this went on and on and on and on, and I was just like, I was so done. I thought to myself, I'm not going to do this again, And then eventually, kind of in my mind, I just said, I just wanted tonight to be easier. And as soon as I said that, it all just stopped. All this chaos and feeling and just horribleness just stopped. And the voice came back to me and it said, that's interesting. So you wanted this to be meaningless. You just came here for sugar, for a pat on the back. What would you have learned from that? How would that have helped you? What was your point in coming if that's what you wanted? What could you have possibly gotten out of that? And I thought about this and I was like, okay, interesting. And then it just kind of barreled into this lesson, and it just said, you humans, you people kind of thing. And it explained to me, it said, you understand your physical fitness. And you do, right? We do. You know whether you're physically fit or not. So if I was to ask you, how fit are you? You know exactly how fit you are. And you want to be fit. Everyone wants to be fit. You understand the benefits. You feel better. You sleep less. It's a good feeling. You feel better in your body. It's all good. There's so many benefits, health benefits, So everyone wants to be fit. And everyone knows whether they're fit or they're not. And we all know exactly what it's going to take to get fit. We know what that process looks like. We know that it's hard and that it's going to hurt and it's going to take time and persistence and discipline. And yet, when we embark on that journey to become physically fit, we go through that. We choose to go through that difficulty. And when you're out there on your first jog, or whatever, you're running 2Ks and you haven't exercised in years or whatever the case is, and your legs are burning and your heart's pounding and your head feels like it's going to explode, and you don't look at this and think, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with my body, I need to go to a doctor, I need a hospital, there's something wrong with me. You don't think that. You know exactly why you feel that way, and you understand it. So it might not feel good, but there's nothing wrong with it, and you're going to invite that again. You're going to go out there knowing full well what it's going to feel like because it was the same the day before. And you're going to choose to do that again. Isn't that remarkable? Because you know why you're doing it and you understand that pain. So you have a very constructive relationship with that pain. And it showed me that. And then it said, but when it comes to your emotional fitness, you don't do that. You don't treat it the same way. And emotional fitness is another word for inner peace. To be emotionally fit is to be at peace, because you're fit, and the equivalent of fitness is going through all those hard things that in the beginning hurt like crazy and are so difficult and put you through so much pressure and stress. But as time gets on, you get fitter, you get better at that. And the real kind of magic in the way it explained it was that when you look at an elite athlete or the personal trainer or a Tour de France cyclist, they're not experiencing any less pain. So, there's a saying that it doesn't get easier, you just go faster. I mean, if someone's trying to win a race, why would they not put themselves through the maximum amount of pain that they possibly could? If they could, they would put themselves through more. So you can be guaranteed that they're putting themselves through the more pain than you were, because they've been conditioned to it. And the difference is not the pain that they're feeling. The difference is in the relationship that they have with that pain. So what happens as you get fitter is that it's not that you start to feel less pain. It's that your relationship with that pain changes so fundamentally that there comes a turning point where you start to see that pain as a good thing. You realize that that pain is a representation of you growing stronger. You know what that pain means and what it means for you and what it's going to give you, because you've already been shown the benefits as you got fitter. You've been rewarded and you're like, oh my gosh, well, that pain is how I get there. I don't mind, that's where I want to go. And you start to change your relationship with the pain so much that you cherish it, because you cherish what it's doing for you. And that's the fundamental change in your relationship to pain. And we don't do that when it comes to our emotions. If we're faced with emotional pain or anxiety or whatever, we run a mile. We look for distractions. We watch Netflix, we go shopping, we go and eat something, or we go and hang out with friends, or we go and get drunk or something like that. And anything to just take that away. And we don't deal with anything. We never go for emotional jogs. And what is an emotional jog? Well, an emotional jog is having a difficult conversation with somebody that maybe you've been putting off for a long time. You might say, well, what are these equivalents? Well, that's one of them, having a difficult conversation. I bet that you haven't been completely honest with everyone all the time. Start by making that right. Those are the things that are eating you up inside. You want emotional fitness, you want your inner peace, but you're carrying all these things. Maybe you haven't been completely authentic. Maybe you're not authentic with other people. You don't behave in a way that truly represents how you feel. Those things create a disjunction inside of you. And that's where all the anxiety comes from. But to deal with those things, to face those things, to be yourself no matter what, to tell the truth no matter what, to have conversations with people that need to be had, that's your jog. That's the difficult part. That's the training. And it just showed me how we know that's how to get physically fit, but we don't know that that's how we get to inner peace. So you can't find inner peace in a book or a YouTube video, not even this YouTube video. You're not going to find it in someone else's truth. It's going to take work, and you're going to have to do that work. But as you do it, as you see the results, as you realize that conversation, that first jog that you go on is going to hurt, and your head's going to feel like it's going to explode, and you're going to be so stressed in that situation. Actually speaking the truth to somebody, something that you've been hiding maybe, or telling somebody that you have an issue, that first one's going to hurt. But believe me, just the same way as the jogging, each one gets easier until you just become a manifestation of that. And you've changed your relationship to it so much that you're just willing. You're willing to go through that. And also life's going to throw you curveballs all the time. Money stress, work stress, all these stresses. We look at them as punishments. We look at them as something's gone wrong. you know. It's just a marathon. It's a marathon. It's been put in front of you. So don't see it as being a punishment. Don't see it as being something wrong. Realize that is just, it's a jog. It's just been put in front of you. Do it. Go through it. Realize this is going to make me stronger. Enjoy it. Enjoy that suffering, because you know that it's going to make you a better person. Going through the loss of a loved one, going through losing your job, going through anything that you might go through. This is all those things that you've gone through in the past, all those challenges, those have been jogs for you, and you know they've made you stronger. And yes, sometimes we're left with trauma, and that trauma does need to be healed. But if you change your attitude to it fundamentally, and you start to see life that way, and you just see it all as just, you know, fitness training, it becomes so much more enjoyable. And then you can truly embrace and change your relationship with pain. And then it isn't about right and wrong, you know, it's just about hard and smooth. And sometimes it's hard and sometimes it's smooth. Sometimes you train, sometimes you rest. But it's all the same thing. And it's all just there to make you better.